Overall retail performance.
All right.
I'm giving it a big fat A.
An
Okay.
A.
All
All
right.
I'm giving it a big A.
Okay.
Not an A plus, but an A.
An A. Okay.
An A with I'm gonna put a line underneath it. And I think there's a couple of reasons, right? So reason number one is that I do think we're experiencing this kind of retail renaissance, especially in the brick and mortar environment. And the fact that we're seeing this so soon after kind of the retail apocalypse narrative kind of gave way into this retail renaissance concept, I think is really, really important. And it comes into even greater view in the first half of this year when you look at kind of the visit metrics. So for example, we saw January down a bit year over year, largely because of inclement weather. And then as the weeks went on, it improved and improved. And then February was strong and March was strong. And even the kind of flatter April was actually not all that flat. It was heavily impacted by a couple of core weeks, one taking place at the end of March, one taking place at the end in early April, where visits were significantly up or down year over year because of when the Easter holiday fell out last year, which changes each year. So I think when we look overall and we think of how consistent it's been in terms of strength, we have to give it an A. And I think there is really impressive elements here, and it's something that's a kind of a common theme of the strength is a result of the decisions that were made. So it's not like that we talk so much about kind of tailwinds and headwinds, but I think a lot of retail success still comes down to smart companies making smart decisions. And I think so much of the success that we're seeing is directly attributable to the smart decisions that are being made. Now, there is one warning sign here. So giving it an A, but definitely there's an asterisk at the bottom of saying, hey, there's one behavior I want you to watch. And that is the concept of visit value. So we had pre-pandemic, we had a good sense of what a visit meant. And then obviously that changed dramatically during the pandemic. So we saw this mission-driven shopping where people were making less trips, but each trip mattered much, much more. And you saw that with basket sizes. And as we've gone away from the pandemic, that's stopped being the case. So mission-driven shopping is no longer the key trend. And in fact, we see the opposite almost, which is consumers are willing to make more trips than they would in the past. To take the grocery sector, we're seeing larger degrees of cross shopping and more visits per week overall to that segment than we were seeing in the past, which is largely being echoed by what we're hearing from grocers, which is they're battling not to get people in the doors, but to get people to spend more and more of their to spend more and more of that kind of wallet share for grocery within that one location. And so I do think it really matters. It's less about kind of the value of each visit and more about, it's less about driving the visits and more about now, how do I drive more value from each visit?
Converting